What if one of the simplest foods in your kitchen could quietly support your heart? Blood vessels, gut, immune defenses, blood sugar, and even the way your body handles inflammation after age 60. Not an expensive supplement, not an exotic fruit from the other side of the world. I'm talking about the ordinary onion. Most people chop onions into a meal without thinking twice. But inside those layers are sulfur compounds, antioxidants, prebiotic fibers, and a powerful plant compound called quercetin that researchers have studied for its effects on inflammation, oxidative stress, blood vessels, and metabolic health. And after age 60, these mechanisms become especially important. Your blood vessels can become less flexible. Muscle and bone tissue may need more nutritional support. Blood sugar can become harder to control. The gut microbiome can change. And low-grade inflammation may slowly increase without causing obvious symptoms at first. Now, let me make something very clear. Eating one onion a day will not magically cure disease or restore your entire health overnight. But when onion becomes part of a balanced diet, it may support several biological systems that become increasingly important as we age. And one of the most interesting effects happens inside your blood vessels. Stay with me, because before the end of this video, I'll also show you the easiest ways to eat onion without upsetting your stomach and which type of onion may give you the strongest antioxidant advantage. 2. Onion may help calm low-grade inflammation after age 60. Inflammation deserves your attention. Inflammation itself is not always bad. If you cut your finger or develop an infection, inflammation is part of the body's emergency response. The problem is chronic low-grade inflammation. Imagine a small fire that never completely goes out. It may not produce dramatic symptoms today, but over time, it can contribute to stress on your arteries, joints, brain, and other tissues. This is where onions become interesting. Onions contain quercetin, a flavonoid antioxidant that helps plants defend themselves from environmental stress. Inside the human body, quercetin has been studied for its potential role in regulating inflammatory signaling and protecting cells from oxidative stress. Oxidative stress happens when unstable molecules called free radicals overwhelm the body's antioxidant defenses. Think of it almost like microscopic rust developing inside your tissue. Your body has natural defenses against this damage, and foods rich in colorful plant compounds can help support those defenses. Red and yellow onions are particularly interesting because they tend to contain more antioxidant compounds than white onions. And here is an easy, practical strategy. Instead of thinking, I need to eat an entire raw onion every morning, simply spread onion throughout the day. Add some sliced onion to an omelet. Use chopped red onion in a salad. Cook onion with beans, vegetables, chicken, fish, or lentils. A healthy habit does not need to feel like medicine. In fact, the habits that last the longest usually become part of meals you already enjoy. But inflammation is only the beginning, because onions may also affect one of the most important systems in your entire body, your circulation. 3. What onion may do for your heart and blood vessels. Picture your circulatory system as thousands of miles of tiny highways. Every second, blood travels through these highways carrying oxygen, nutrients, hormones, and immune cells throughout your body. As we age, protecting these blood vessels becomes extremely important. Onions contain several compounds that have been studied in relation to cardiovascular health, including quercetin and sulfur-containing compounds. These compounds may support healthy blood vessel function as part of an overall heart-healthy diet. Why does that matter? Because flexible blood vessels can expand and contract more efficiently as blood moves through them. And dietary patterns rich in vegetables, fruit, legumes, nuts, whole grains, and other plant foods are consistently associated with better cardiovascular health. Onion fits beautifully into that pattern. That is another reason onions may be useful. They add tremendous flavor without requiring large amounts of salt, and that becomes extremely valuable for older adults who are trying to maintain healthy blood pressure. Instead of covering vegetables with salty sauces, you can slowly cook onion with garlic, herbs, pepper, tomatoes, and olive oil. Suddenly, healthy food tastes completely different. For many people, this is the real secret. Healthy eating becomes easier when healthy foods actually taste good. Try sautéing half an onion with vegetables at lunch and using the other half in soup, beans, or dinner. But if you're taking medication for blood pressure, cholesterol, or another cardiovascular condition, continue following your physician's recommendations. Food supports the body. It does not replace necessary medical care. Now there is another silent problem that becomes much more common as we grow older. An onion may have an interesting role here too. I'm talking about blood sugar. 4. Onion, blood sugar, and metabolic health after 60 after you eat carbohydrates. Your digestive system breaks many of them down into glucose. That glucose enters your bloodstream. Your pancreas then releases insulin, a hormone that acts almost like a key, helping glucose move from the blood into your cells, where it can be used for energy. But with age, inactivity, excess body fat, poor sleep, and certain dietary patterns, cells can become less responsive to insulin. That means the body may have to work harder to control blood sugar. So where does onion fit? First, onion is naturally low in calories and provides carbohydrates with very little impact compared with refined foods like sugary pastries, sweetened drinks, or white bread. Second, onions contain sulfur compounds and plant antioxidants that researchers continue to investigate for possible metabolic benefits. But the most powerful strategy is not eating onion by itself. It is what onion can help you eat instead. Imagine two dinners. One is processed meat, fries, a sugary drink, and very few vegetables. The other contains grilled fish, beans, leafy vegetables, tomatoes, olive oil, herbs, and cooked onion. The health effect comes from the entire dietary pattern. The onion is part of the team. A particularly smart way to use onion is to combine it with protein and fiber-rich foods. For example, eggs with onion and spinach, beans with onion and tomatoes. Chicken with onion and roasted vegetables, lentils cooked with onion, carrots, and herbs. These combinations tend to produce a more balanced meal than eating refined carbohydrates alone. And there is another reason beans, lentils, vegetables, and onion work so well together. They feed something you cannot see, but which may influence almost every system in your body, your gut microbiome. Simple. Your gut bacteria may love onions. Inside your intestines lives an enormous community of microorganisms. Scientists call this ecosystem the gut microbiome. These bacteria participate in digestion, immune function, nutrient metabolism, and the production of compounds that interact with your intestinal lining. And onions contain a type of carbohydrate called fructans, including prebiotic fibers. A prebiotic is basically food for beneficial gut bacteria. Think of your gut like a garden. Probiotic foods can introduce certain beneficial microorganisms. Prebiotic foods help feed the organisms already living there. Onion, garlic, asparagus, leeks, oats, bananas, beans, and many other plant foods can contribute to this environment. When beneficial gut bacteria ferment certain fibers, they can produce substances such as short-chain fatty acids. These compounds play important roles in the health of the intestinal lining and metabolic signaling. And this may become increasingly important with age because the diversity of the gut microbiome can change over time. But there is one warning. Not everyone tolerates onion well. For people with irritable bowel syndrome or sensitivity to high FODMAP foods, onion can cause bloating, gas, abdominal discomfort, or diarrhea. If raw onion bothers you, do not force yourself to eat a whole onion because someone on the internet told you it was healthy. Try a smaller amount. Cook it thoroughly. Observe how your body responds, and if you have persistent digestive problems, speak with a qualified healthcare professional. Nutrition should support your body, not make you miserable. Now let's talk about something many people over 60 worry about every day: aging itself, because onion may also help protect cells from some of the oxidative stress that accumulates throughout life. SACE. Cellular protection, immunity, and the best way to eat onion every day. Your cells are exposed to oxidative stress. It comes from normal metabolism, pollution, smoking, excessive ultraviolet exposure, poor diet, inflammation, and many other sources. Your body fights back with an elaborate antioxidant defense system. And plant foods give that system additional support. Onion provides vitamin C in modest amounts along with quercetin and other phytochemicals. Red onion also contains anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for its purple-red color. These same families of colorful compounds appear in foods such as berries, grapes, cherries, and purple vegetables. And there is a useful lesson here. When nature gives a fruit or vegetable a deep color, that color often comes with interesting phytochemicals. So if you want the strongest antioxidant variety from onions, rotate different types. Red onion in salads, yellow onion in soups, white onion in cooked dishes, and green onions over eggs, vegetables, or beans. Raw onion may preserve more of certain heat-sensitive compounds, but cooked onion is still nutritious, and for many people, much easier to digest. You do not need to obsess over raw versus cooked. Variety is usually the better approach, and you certainly do not need to swallow onion juice or eat a giant raw onion on an empty stomach. Instead, think in practical portions, a few slices at breakfast. Some chopped onion at lunch, half an onion cooked into dinner. Over the course of a day, you may easily reach roughly 1 medium onion without forcing yourself to eat it all at once. And remember something important. Onion becomes even more powerful from a nutritional perspective when it replaces less healthy ingredients. Use onion and herbs to replace some excess salt. Add onion to vegetables instead of covering them with processed sauces. Combine onion with legumes instead of relying exclusively on processed meats. That is how one simple food can begin changing the nutritional quality of an entire day. One onion will not save you, but one habit can start a change. So, what could happen if you start including onion regularly? After age 60, you provide your body with quercetin and other antioxidant compounds. You add prebiotic fibers that can support the gut microbiome. You introduce flavorful plant food into meals without adding many calories. You may make it easier to eat more vegetables, beans, eggs, fish, and other whole foods. And as part of a healthy lifestyle, you support the systems that matter enormously as you age. Your heart, blood vessels, metabolism, digestive system, immune defenses, and cells. But remember this. No single onion can erase years of poor nutrition. No fruit or vegetable can guarantee protection from disease. And no food should replace medication or professional medical care when those are needed. The real transformation happens when one healthy decision leads to another. One onion becomes more vegetables. More vegetables become better meals. Better meals can support healthier weight, more stable energy, better metabolic health, and a stronger nutritional foundation for the years ahead. That is where the power is. Not in a miracle food, in a repeatable habit. And after 60, the small decisions you repeat every day may matter far more than the extreme diets you follow for only a few weeks. If you found this information useful, give this video a like, because it helps more people discover practical nutrition information like this. Subscribe to Healthy Foods and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video about the foods that can help support healthy aging naturally. Share this video with someone over 60 who still thinks onion is only there to add flavor. And tell me in the comments, how do you prefer your onions raw, in a salad, cooked with your meals, or caramelized with vegetables? I read your comments, and your answers may inspire one of our next videos. Take care of your body today, because healthy aging is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built one meal, one ingredient, and one better decision at a time.